Ambassador Kelin, welcome to Roundtable again. Tell me, who is winning the war in Ukraine?
Obviously, this is Russia that is going to win. I have no doubts about that. Probably there is, at the moment, we do not have a very visible results, but I would like to attract your attention that Russia has much better adapted to the situation. The political and economical system is stable. Population supports what President Putin is doing. Sanctions do not bring disaster to Russia. They do not rupture the economy. And we have a military-industrial complex which is now works, and we are self-sufficient in terms of continuing what we are doing right now. In contrast, the Ukraine situation is very different. It is hanging on a tiny rope. It depends a lot on external financement, and this dependency causes internal troubles. Politically, internally, they have started. And of course, the anticipation that this tiny rope of finance might be interrupted from time to time, it does not motivate, of course, the armed forces to seriously go into struggle as it was in the beginning, and a lot of consequences about that. So the answer is that it's a question of time right now.
So you believe Russia will eventually grind this out and defeat Ukraine?
It's difficult to say. That depends of what kind of concept of victory will prevail in the end. To defeat totally Ukraine, that is probably an exaggeration, because Ukraine it's a big state with a lot of population. But we need to achieve our goals, and our goals has been formulated clearly, and we will continue to do that. The front line is moving steadily from east to the west, and it continues to move. And I have no doubts that it will continue to move westwards more and more.
What does victory look like then, from a Russian perspective?
As I have said, I do not know. I do not know. But we need actually to achieve our goals. This is demilitarization of Ukraine, denazification, which is also an important thing, because any notion of existence of Nazi moods or Nazi movements or parties, it should be eliminated from the constitution. Ukraine should be neutral, and all our interests, security interests, should be taken into account not only by Ukraine, but also by European countries, and especially the whole West. That includes the United States. Neutrality, as it has been stated in the Ukrainian constitution, plus the normal conditions for the Russian-speaking population are very important over there.
Have you been surprised by the strength of the resilience shown by the Ukrainians?
No, this strength of resilience has been paid by the Western society, by the European Union and the United States. And we fully understand that the best profession right now in Ukraine, this is a soldier, because he is paid very well and he has to fight for this. But in general, I do not believe that there is a very anti-Russian mood over there, since lots of ties between Russia and Ukraine do exist. We have lots of relatives, and anti-Russian movement, anti-Russian ideas, and all this concept, it does exist in certain circles of Ukraine, mostly in the very west of Ukraine. And they have been brought, of course, to Kiev and to the center of Ukraine. And it has become the policy of the government by Zelensky, this extreme nationalism, which is bordered with Nazism, in fact. And this is very bad, I would say.
We were told at the outset that this was a special military operation. That was the phrase that your President Putin used. Mm-hmm. We're 2 years in now. We were told this would last days, that Russia would walk to victory. 2 years in, and there's still no sign of this victory.
It could have happened if Ukraine and especially the West will agree on conditions of the agreement that has been nearly reached in April 2022. We were very close to the agreement, and lots of positions has been reflected, including neutrality, including a demilitarization of the machine, that Ukraine will not be threatening, not be a breakthrough instrument against Russia. It all has been agreed. Then Boris Johnson, the then Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, has come to Ukraine, has said no agreements with Russians, you have to go fighting. And it has been also reflected at the communique that has been published by the Foreign Office after his visit.
So Boris Johnson, to be clear, Boris Johnson blocked peace efforts.
He blocked peace efforts, of course, with a blessing from Washington, because he cannot do it himself personally, but he has come over there. And the document that has been already initialed by the head of the Ukrainian delegation, Arachmia, it has been put into garbage, and Ukraine started to fight. So these are the consequences of what has been done by the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, and that's the way it goes. Now, situation has changed, and we have to deal with the new situation.
People are saying that Russia and Vladimir Putin look more confident in recent weeks and months. Is that a good assessment?
I would say so. That is correct. It has been, by the way, a constatation of my interview to the Sky News yesterday. We understand what is happening, and we understand probably the course of events in the coming months. Contrary to that, I do believe that Ukrainian government do not understand what is happening. It is now in defense. They recognize it in defense, but what the sense of it? Because the further they are in defense, the more the defeat will be deeper and more serious to them.
Long term, does Russia want to occupy Ukraine or install a puppet government? I mean, what would be the dream scenario for Russia?
I wouldn't speculate on that. That depends. It will be situational as well. Because at a certain point in time, those who are ruling now in Ukraine and those who are in the West are supplying arms and money, they have to recognize facts that Ukraine is going into the abyss. And not to allow totally to go Ukraine into the abyss, they have to stop at a certain point, and then we will have to discuss what will be the end of the exit strategy.
Tell me, at what point will Russia accept that everyone needs to sit around the table and talk peace?
That is correct, and it is what I am. At the moment, we do not see any serious proposal to this end. We cannot consider as serious proposal this 10 points Zelensky initiative, so-called, because it contains total withdrawal of Russian troops from Ukrainian territory, putting our leaders to the trial in a certain entity. I'm not sure about it. Paying reparation by Russia, all of that. So it is not serious. We are not there. They have the opposite side have to recognize realities in the first place, and second, it has to recognize security interests of Russia, which we are trying to put forward many years. So we are not talking about this recently. We have put it bluntly about NATO enlargement and all of that stuff, that NATO is a threatening organization, that we have got 5 ways. We tried to settle it in the beginning of 90s during the German unification. Let's step a couple of years, 10 years to some 30 years ago. And during that time, we have negotiated that NATO is not going to enlarge. And we launched partnership with NATO. We even tried to be part of NATO, as President has recognized recently. But in return, we have got 5 ways of enlargement of NATO, and we have got NATO close to our borders, and also a promise to Ukraine and Georgia be in NATO. So it's a real fundamental threat to our security. We have to deal with that.
On that point, how does Russia feel about Poland, Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania? There is a lot of concern in those countries about a stronger, aggressive Russia going forward.
These concerns and ideas to this end, they're imaginary. It is we do not have a problem of the kind that we have with Ukraine, with Poland, or with Latvia or Estonia. With Ukraine, it is totally different. We do not feel being threatened from Latvia or Estonia, although the behavior of these two very small countries is, of course, I would say appalling, but it's a challenge. They're trying to challenge us on that, challenging feeling that they have NATO forces behind them. It's a bad idea, but it doesn't worth serious military actions, of course. So those who are promoting this idea that we make a threat to this country, they are simply trying to get more money from the budgets for the armed forces.
Looking ahead to later in the year, there is an election in the United States. Would Russia welcome President Trump back into the White House?
No, we do not support any candidate, either let it be Republican or Democratic candidate, neither officially nor unofficially. We are not influencing, we are not even trying to influence anything like that. All of this depend on the future. Trump is, as president, he has proved that he is unpredictable. And of course, all this will depend on the moods, not those who are around Trump, but on the moods that are prevailing wider in the United States, in the upper class over there. At the moment, we see that it is very much anti-Russian. For a long time, not now, not for 2 years, but it is for a long time very much anti-Russian. We do not know why. Actually, we have some ideas why it is happening. Probably it is an inheritance of the Cold War, since there is a lot of machinery in the US and here in London which continues to think only in terms of pushing Russia, pushing further, and continue to push. They simply do not have any other proposal. And they are talking to the superiors, they are trying they are convincing their ministers, the government, the president, that the best policy is to continue to push Russia. So this might happen if Trump will come. This may not happen, so we will see.
Ambassador, I'd like to talk about the economy now, if I may. How is Russia's economy doing after 2 years of war?
It's a very interesting question because the economy has changed very seriously in a sense that we have to do a lot of things that we couldn't have done during some 10 years before. Because since a lot of people were saying that Russia should make reforms in its economy. But it was difficult for the government just to start seriously to do that. Right now, since operation starts, it is now the objective necessity to change dramatically economy, to reorient the trade, to reorient it to the east, to deal with sanctions, to make productions of our own, and we produce not only military weapons. We started to produce our aircrafts, our cars, a lot of things that has Soviet Union previously has been done. And the result, agriculture as well, make better. And the result is now clearly seen since the growth of GDP last year was 3.6%. It's a lot. And prediction for this year, they are also very high. It is more than 2%. So we do not see that any trouble. We have overcome sanctions, of course.
I was just about to mention sanctions. So they've had no impact on Russia?
Of course, they have an impact. We lost a big market in the West. That is true. Our trade with United Kingdom now diminished 96%. So the remaining is very small. But this is bad not for us. It is also bad for the United Kingdom because you see that the situation in economy of the United Kingdom, they are also suffering. It is around zero, plus something minus, but it is stagnating right now. So it is more damage for the countries in the West than for us. We also, of course, suffered from that. Some of technologies we have now to invent ourselves or to get in connections with China, with India, with Indonesia, with all countries in the East. But this is not catastrophic. It is just getting us to learn something more about that and to work with these markets, with these new markets.
Ambassador Kelin, thank you so much for your time.
Good. Okay.